stayed on my nose. It's very annoying. Hey friend, welcome to my channel, Cateyeglamour, our little hangout where we can be the most glamorous versions of ourselves. If you are new here, my name is Marilyn, and I'm bringing you all things beauty, fashion, glamour, lifestyle, all of that. I think you should subscribe. It's what's best. Okay, friends, so when you see me without a glam, then you already know what time it is, okay? We're gonna be doing some makeup. Today I have a review of Rare Beauty. I did pick up foundation and the concealer because I was only interested in the complexion products. So I want to give you guys a first impression as well as a review. So we're definitely gonna go ahead and get into that. So let's get into it. Now, one time for the skin, you know, I do have on lashes though. I gotta say that, but my skin is free of makeup. I have some new blemishes because of her. You know who she is, but she caused these new blemishes, but whatever. It's gonna be cleared up in no time, but my skin has been looking good. I've been using these blends of oils on my skin, and I really like how it's, I don't know, I really like how it's looking. I'm getting more into simple skincare, so I'll tell you guys more about that in a different video. So I have the concealer here. It also comes in a similar box. Now the concealer, it's kind of bright. The concealer that I have is, I brought it to brighten and highlight under my eyes, so I have the color 400W. I'm praying that it's not too light. It looks very light in this bottle here, but it comes like this. It has the little thing here where you can turn it, which I think is great. It makes it so much easier to open. And this is the applicator here. I don't know, it doesn't look too light, but I can definitely make it work regardless. So here is a swatch of it. So this is 400W, and I'm going to use this to highlight my face. So let's get into this. Let's get right into it and see how this applies. My skin type is oily. I'm not excessively oily, but I do have oily skin. So this formula is kind of scares me, but we'll see how it is because I am going to set my face with powders and do all of that. And I did moisturize with oil. So, but these are lightweight and it's very fast absorbing oil. So we'll go ahead and just prep with like a matte primer to counteract that, hopefully. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, friends, so I'm a little closer. I hope you don't mind. So I'm gonna put my Wet n Wild primer on. This is a matte primer. So I'm just gonna put it on my like T-zone area, like right in here. This is where oil normally really seeps through for me. And this is where makeup starts to separate, right in here for me. So let me just go ahead and add that. Honestly, my skin looks really good right now. I'm really feeling this. The lashes do help, of course. I feel like lashes kind of just help you. Even if you don't have on makeup, lashes really help kind of, you know, bring you together. So I definitely applied that. All right, so I have my primer. Hold on. Put some here. Down my nose. All right, so hopefully this helps kind of counteract some of the oil and, you know, just gives the makeup a fighting chance. You know what I mean? All right, so that feels good. That looks good. All right, so now let's grab the foundation and we're gonna start with that. So we have the foundation and let's hope this thing matches, okay? All right, so I'm just gonna apply a few dots to my skin. I don't know what the coverage is like. I'm not necessarily a full coverage person. I don't mind a sheer coverage. I don't mind natural coverage. So let's see, let me get on this line. This line like never went away. Ever since I had my son, or ever since I was pregnant, that line just stayed on my nose. It's very annoying. Alright, so I barely feel like I'm putting anything on my face because this is definitely weightless, like it claims to be. Okay, so let's go ahead and blend that in. I'm just stippling to blend it through. It looks like it's an okay match for me so far. It looks like my other foundations. So I did pretty good for choosing online. Their descriptions were pretty good actually. And the pictures that they used, the models. So just for reference, if you're similar to my color, you're looking for a color, in some popular foundations like in MAC, I am NW48. In the Born This Way foundation, I am in the color Hazelnut. NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop, I wear Cocoa. What's another one? Smashbox Studio Skin, I wear 4.3. I can't think of any other foundations right now that I wear. If you know about Oma Beauty, I'm a T4N in that one. So just to give you a, a little gist of what to expect. So it's a little teeny red, but a lot of my foundations are red. I tend to go for a red foundation because it looks warm, and then I highlight more. I get lighter here in this area with the highlight on the more yellowy sort of side. So it kind of just balances. All right, so this feels good. So you can still see some of my blemishes. You can always go in with more if you want it to get full coverage, but I'm fine with this sort of coverage. It looks very radiant, as you guys can see. All right, so that's all I'm gonna apply as far as foundation. And right now, the foundation looks really good to me. This is my type of foundation. I love a radiant finish, so I don't mind it. But I imagine this is buildable. Maybe I should build it a little bit so you guys can see. I'm not necessarily a full coverage person, but in case you are, I'll just build it so you can see. So you can leave it like this, which is what I would do, but let me just go in and kind of spot around so we can get some more coverage and see how it feels. I can still see that line on my nose. But when I put foundation on, all my goal is to be even. I don't mind a few blemishes showing through because, I mean, we need to, I want to look like I'm real. And I have real skin under here. So, but if you like more full coverage, let's just see if you're able to build this. So it did cover up that blemish that I had here. It covered the one on my cheek. So it's definitely buildable. And it doesn't feel any heavier than it did when I had that, the more lighter coverage. Okay, friends, so the foundation is all blended out. What do you guys think? Because for me, I really like it so far. What I like about it is the fact that it looks like actual skin and it doesn't look like a mask, okay? I don't like a very full, thick coverage. I want to still have features of a human, okay? I need to look like a human, okay? And this does that. This just looks like, I don't know. Let's move on because sometimes I get excited too quickly. So let's get into the concealer. Okay, so I leaned in a little close again, and let's go for the concealer. Let's hope it's not too light, okay? So let's go for that. It has a little bit of a slanted angle to the applicator, which is interesting. So I'm just gonna go here. It does look a little light, but let's see how it blends out. I'm gonna go here. Always highlight my cupid's bow. Put a little bit on my forehead. A little bit on my chin. And I am going to use a damp sponge to blend this out. Okay, and we'll see how it blends out. Okay, now this also feels just as light as the foundation. So I have my damp sponge and I'm just gonna pat and see what type of coverage we get. Patting that in. It's blending out really easy, which makes sense because it's such a it's a moisturizing formula, and it is very lightweight, and it blends out like butter almost. So this color actually looks really good. It's a perfect highlight for my skin tone. It's perfect for, you know, the type of highlight that I like. So you guys can see my under eye a little bit better. So that looks good. It blends out. This is a light coverage. It's not a heavy coverage at all. So if you like a more, you know, full coverage concealer, this is not it. I'm gonna try to layer it, and we'll see how it goes. I like it like this. This is a very natural face. Okay. Blends out so easy. So far, I like this. This is not a glam sort of concealer. It's not full coverage like I mentioned. If you have deep set eyes, you may need to layer it. And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to layer it and see, you know, how it works out and how it looks. But this is how it looks with one layer of the concealer. Here's it close up. I like it. I like this natural look. It looks, I like it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and layer it for you girls that wanna see whether or not it can be layered. Okay, so now let's go in with layer number 2. And let's see what happens. Okay, so you do get more. This is more of a full coverage, so it's definitely buildable. Okay, so what do you guys think? It's definitely buildable, right? And this is full coverage. And the powder that I'm gonna set it with has coverage as well, the Fit Me powder. So for me, it's great. This is great. If you have dark circles under your eye, you may, with this concealer, you're gonna have to color correct. You're gonna have to use, depending on your complexion, an orange or peachy or salmon sort of color under your eyes to correct the darkness before putting this concealer over it. Because I am guessing with this concealer, if you put it over dark circles, it's gonna have like a gray cast here, and who wants that? All right, so I'll go ahead and finish blending this out, and then we're gonna go ahead and set this concealer. Okay, so it's a very full coverage under my eye now, very glam. I'm just using my foundation brush to kind of further blend like the edges of the concealer. And then I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my face, and I'll come back to you guys with my final thoughts on this foundation after my face is completed. But you've seen the two products that we are here for, which is the foundation and the concealer. So this is it before I set it, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and we'll talk about it when I get back. Guys, so I just set the concealer with the Maybelline, the loose, where is it? Let me grab it here. The Maybelline, here's the top, the Maybelline loose powder, the Fit Me powder in medium deep, and it's set. This powder lays over the concealer so good, so good. So let me just finish up my face here on camera so you guys can see. I was gonna do it off camera, but there may be people that wanna see what I use, okay? So I am going to set my overall foundation with the Black Radiance Soft Focus powder, and this is in Milk Chocolate. I absolutely love this, one of my favorite powders, and it's from the drugstore. They need more shades though. because it's such a nice powder. So I'm just gonna set over it. It's looking so good, guys. Like, I really like this. I feel like I look fresh-faced and very bright under the eyes. Okay. So nice. Alright, so even though my skin is oily, the powder does balance that. So you don't have, if you have oily skin, I don't think you should be afraid of this foundation. You just have to prep. That's what it's all about. You just have to prep your skin and set it based on your skin type. Okay. So now I am going to, I feel like I want to do a blushy look. Like a fresh face with a lot of blush. So let's go for the Juvia's Place palette. This is the Saharan Blush Volume 2. Yeah. And I'm gonna grab this color here and put that on my cheeks. So I think I wanna go real blushy. So, yeah, I like that. That's cute. Just get it right here on the apples. This gives me such a youthful look, so I like doing that with a shade like this. Especially with like a simple glam, because I'm not gonna put on any eyeshadow or anything. I'm just gonna do some bronzing, lip gloss, highlight. That's about it. Okay, so that's pretty. Got it right around the apples. So that's pretty. Let me do the bronzer next, which is I'm using my favorite bronzer, which is by Makeup Revolution. It's the Splendor Matte. I love this. I'm gonna use a fan brush, a large fan brush here, and get around this area. Just bronze that face up, girl. I should have did this first before the blush, so kids don't try this at home. Bronze and then add your blush. Oh, this smells so good. So now we're gonna go in with now I'm gonna highlight my face with the same palette. And the color that I'm gonna highlight with is, I'm gonna do Zoba. This color here. Oops, my nails nicked it. So let's do it here. So pretty. I forgot to put bronzer on my nose with a smaller detailed brush. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that right now. So far, girl, so good. So I'm just adding a little bronzer on my nose here. Okay, so now I'm going to use my powder brush and just blend it out. I just wanted a little bit more in that area to define it, but I just go over use the brush here and kind of like blend it and diffuse it a bit so it comes off a little bit more natural. Okay. Okay. For my lips, I'm going to do something natural. I'm going to use my lip liner by Rimmel, and it's in the color Coffee Bean. And then I'm gonna go ahead and grab my nudie sticks. And this is, I can't think of what the color is. It came in like a Sephora favorites kit or something. But so this is the mini versions of it. So pretty. Should I do a gloss or should I just leave it like this? I like it like this. A little gloss. A little gloss, girl. And this is my Makeup Revolution gloss, and this is in the color Darling. This was on one of the lip glosses that was on my favorites lip gloss video. If you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. I like this. I'm gonna put a little bit of gloss here. Juicy, juicy. Okay, so that is looking good. I think we're done. Okay guys, this is the finished look. I love the way it looks right now. I absolutely love the way it looks right now. I am going to keep the makeup on. I'm going to do a few things around the house, and then I'll be back to let you guys know how it held up, and you can see how it held up and whether or not the oil started to, you know, seep through, because that's my main concern, because I do have oily skin. So we'll see how that goes, and then I'll have my final review for you guys. But so far so good, girl. Whew, girl, I'm back. I just got back from a freaking sauna, which is outside here in Florida. It's a sauna. That's where I live, the sauna, okay? It was very hot. I was in the house for a few hours. I left, I went to my mom's house. I wore a mask with this, okay? And this is how it looks after about 5 or 6 hours or so. I think it still looks nice. Now, as you can see, oil is seeping through here in this area. Oil is like all over my face. Honestly, I'm oily all over, but it does not look bad. It kind of just looks like a natural radiance or like a natural glow to me, so it doesn't look bad at all. So the foundation, I think, did pretty good, okay? Yeah, it's oily right in here. Right in here. Kind of like everywhere, girl, honestly. To me, it's oily everywhere. But here in Florida, it is like 95 degrees. It feels like 100 degrees outside, and I have oily skin, so I expected oil to seep through, and the foundation is on the more oilier side. It is very moisturizing. With someone with dry skin, this would be absolutely perfect. I still like the foundation, and I'm gonna keep the foundation. The concealer still looks good on camera, but if I lean in closer, the concealer is creasing. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that. Okay, so here is a close-up view. As you can see, it has separated here, so it's creasing, and it's separated here. So if you are someone who has a lot of fine lines under their eye, you're not gonna like this concealer because it separates. And you can see that I set it with a very full coverage powder, and I did my best to, you know, keep it in place, but it still creased, and it did not take much time before it started to crease. I noticed the creasing within 30 minutes of me having it on. So keep that into consideration. It's a creasy concealer. I love the color of this concealer. I love the finish of this concealer. I love the way that it blended out, but I do not like the creasing. And for me, the creasing is kind of a big deal. Okay, so I did not like that part at all. Okay, so overall, the foundation is a go. I believe that if you have more drier skin and you lived in more of a cooler area, you would do really good with this foundation. The concealer, however, no one likes creasing, no matter what environment they live in, no matter what type of skin they have. Nobody wants creasing. So the concealer is a no for me, and she's actually going to go back to the store and they're going to put it right back on the shelf because I don't need it. Okay, but the foundation I'm definitely going to keep because I do like the way my skin looks. I love radiant complexions, so it's a go for me. Okay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I really hope I gave you a thorough review. Be sure to like this video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you can stop playing with me this instant. Okay, subscribe.